Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of
Health and Wellness 360 with TFal Chi.
our mission is to empower you to be the very best version of yourself.
By providing you with practical and tangible tools to live a healthy lifestyle.
To learn more about us, go to www.tfalandchi.com.
And now, enjoy the show.
Well, hello. Thank you again for being here today. What a wonderful day. And let us know where you're dialing in from. Many of you have seen our show before, and I'm sure many of you are joining us for the first time. So please go in and let us know where you're dialing in from, and super excited to be here, right, babe?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, awesome. So my name is Chi, and we're going to go into what we're going to talk about today, and introduce ourselves. And our mission on TFal Chi is to empower you, your family, your loved ones to be the very best versions of yourself. We do this in a very deliberate way, where it's simple to understand, where you can practice this as easily as you can. So welcome all of you, and I see some of you already from Texas, from different places. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, share this message as much as you can, and our show today is going to be awesome. So get ready for an engaging show today. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, thank you.
Let's begin.
And introduce myself. I'm TFal. I am an infectious disease physician, an internist. I am an author, a podcaster, and a wellness coach, and I'm the other half of TFal Chi. And thank you for joining us the first time. So that's TFal, and again, joined with my husband and co-host, Chi.
Yes, my beautiful host. Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm Chi, and I'm a health and wellness expert. My focus is exercise, nutrition, and mental health. Those three things you can't divorce from each other. So we're going to show you how we connect all those three things together: mental health, nutrition, exercise. Draw yourself a triangle, and you get there very well. Quickly. So,
yes. And our show today is on exercise, and I am, ready to go. Our show today is on exercise. It's going to be engaging, interactive. We're going to have you chat in and type us some, we're going to ask you a few questions. And so we're going to talk about kind of the when, the what, the how. I no better person to answer those questions as Chi here with his expertise. And I make it make sense is going to be on HDL cholesterol, which is your good cholesterol, and why it's important and how to get your good cholesterol up. So we have the expert with us to talk about everything you wanted to know about exercise in 30 minutes or less. So
right, we're going to make this super informative. So, and before we actually go into this session today, when you hear exercise, what does that mean to you? Can you type that into the chat? We're going to have you engage with us today. So just type that into the chat. When you hear
exercise, what does that mean?
What does that mean to you? Let's go. Let's do it. And as you go ahead and do that, I'm going to ask my wife, a couple questions here. So, as a physician, what is the impact of exercise on our overall health and our cellular structure? As we're waiting for those answers to come through, how does exercise impact our cellular structure? Can you share that as a physician on what you see in your practice?
That is amazing. So, exercise is anything that exerts us, and it's done either to maintain or to lose weight or to do a lot of things is what people think. But for many of us, what we need to know is that the benefits of exercise go beyond losing weight, which we'll talk about. So the benefits of exercise is on our physical health, as we're looking in real time in terms of your digestive system moving better, your skin, your sleep is better, mental clarity. Exercise releases a lot of endorphins and things that natural happy hormones. So your mood is better, your sleep is better. Those are things you see in real time when you exercise. In addition to that, when you move your body and you get more blood flowing, you get oxygen delivered to your tissues, it decreases the risk of a lot of things, including heart disease, insulin resistance. So physical activity is good for all of those things. In addition to that, it helps with our strength. It helps with our posture. It helps in preventing falls as we get older. And the last part of that is the mental health benefits. In addition to improving your mood, your sleep, which affects your mental health, it also helps with, when you're out there in nature, removing social isolation. And so the benefits are not just about weight. That is one of the things. Physical strength, physical fitness,
awesome,
and also your mental health, and all those things are important parts, and reducing your risk of other diseases.
Nice. So you heard it. So exercise impacts your body in so many different ways. Your mind, your physical strength, and everything. And a lot of you typed in physical activity, sleep. So, and so thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the next question. So
of course,
we've talked a lot about nutrition on prior shows, a lot of things. How does nutrition and what we eat impact exercise? And what is that relationship between nutrition and exercise?
Awesome. Huge. So just listen to this for a moment. So when you talk about nutrition and exercise, you can never out-exercise a bad diet. You can't. So it doesn't matter how much you exert yourself. If you're eating poorly, you can't get to the goals you're trying to achieve. And like my wife shared, exercise is not just about losing weight. Losing weight is just a byproduct of exercise, right? Because exercise is for mental health. It's for to enhance your sleep. It's for so many different things, to improve your cellular structure, the digestive system. So there's so many things that exercise does for you, right? So, and food is actually over about 75% of exercise. So on the way we look, so if you eat well, you are more likely to get to your goals, whether it be mental health, whether it be, the physical nature of it, the way you look. When you eat well, 25% or less is dedicated to exercise, right? So it's very important getting those nutrients in, your flavonoids in, your complex carbohydrates, your proteins, and making sure they're from right sources and not from refined sources. So
and the simple sugar. So what you're saying is that you can't just, eat and then say, I'm going to go to the gym for 30 minutes and then it's all done. What we eat doesn't affect how we exercise and how much we can do.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to ask you as well. So what, in your medical field, is there an amount of time, is there a recommendation in terms of the CDC, how much exercise we need to get, to be a certain way or to feel a certain way? Are there recommendations around that? Because I think it's good for there to be some clarity about how much exercise we need or not in that space. Can you share that?
So the CDC, or Center for Disease Control, has very clear guidelines about recommendations for exercise for children, for teens, for adults over the age of 18. And for adults over the age of 18, the recommendations are to have at least about 150 minutes a week of moderate to intense physical activity. So moderate, they define as brisk walking. So not just like walking like you are to pick up the mail. Brisk walking, where you get your heart rate up. You can still talk, but it's, your heart rate is up, you're getting tired, and that's at least 150 minutes a week. That's an average. Some people need a lot more, less, but again, it's important to know that that is a recommendation. 150 minutes for a lot of people seems like a lot, but if you think about it, if you do 30 minutes of brisk exercise every day, 5 days a week, in addition to they recommend 2 days a week of weights or of muscle strengthening. And that can include weights. It can include your free body weights. It can include things like yoga. So 2 days a week of strengthening your muscles, and 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise, or 75 minutes of vigorous, like jogging and swimming and things like that.
Nice.
But while those are recommendations, it's important to know that start small, and once you start, build on that.
Nice. So you heard that, right? And again, everyone is different, right? And before you begin any exercise regimen, always make sure you clear that with your physician, so that it's not contraindicated with whatever is there, if there's a condition there or there's an issue and you can, exercise. And remember, one thing we need to share is that, when you exercise, we're going to talk about that actually, what you need and what you need not in that space as well.
And I'm going to get that into that when I put you on the hot seat. So I have one more question before I just go into just asking you all the questions. No more questions for me.
Of course.
How does, people say, okay, everybody says exercise. How exactly does exercise make us lose weight?
Sure. Good question, TFal. So exercise and weight loss, right? The important part of exercise is that you can exert yourself. That's one. And keeping the exertion elevated for X amount of time, right? So you want to be able to exert yourself where you're actually expanding carbon dioxide through your mouth, right? Fat cells actually escape through your mouth, fat cells, right? So you want to sweat, which means you build up to sweat, and
so you have to get out of breath.
Exactly. So when you're out there walking, when you're out there doing yoga, when you're out there dancing like no one's looking, you want to make sure that you're doing it to a state where you're actually elevated. Your exertion is elevated, and you stays there for X amount of time, so you can actually sweat. And talking about sweat, you want to make sure you're always hydrated.
Yes.
Hydration is important for not just exercise, but to lubricate your body and keep your joints and everything going optimally.
Wow,
right? Yeah.
That is great. You just dropped a lot of stuff there that, when you're exercising, to make sure you sweat. And, sometimes for us as women, we worry about looking kind of odd at the gym. We're like, I don't want to breathe too loud. I don't want my hair to get too messy. We got to say we're doing this for ourselves and for ourselves. Whatever we need to do to protect our hair, our style, stay hydrated, and breathe like you don't care, because it's about you at the gym.
Good point.
It's not about looking pretty, right?
No, it's not about, because you know what? In the long run, you're going to look as pretty and as beautiful as ever, right?
And inside.
Inside and outside. So when you're out there, do it like no one's watching, dance like no one's watching, and in the long run, your cells are going to thank you. All right?
Cells will thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So we're now at this point where we've been going back and forth, but you are the fitness expert. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, really specifically about, we've talked about why the benefits of exercise, what we should eat and all that. I'm just going to ask you some questions that have to do with things that people have asked and myths and things around. Okay. So one of the things we've heard about a lot is this HIIT, high intensity training. What is HIIT, and tell us about HIIT?
So first of all, before I actually answer that, I would just say, so a lot of people are coming in. Just thank you so much again for joining us at TFal Chi today. So my wife just asked, what is HIIT? So it's HIIT, right? So the high intensity interval training.
High intensity interval training. Okay.
So it just simply means that you're exercising, doing varied bouts of exercise multiple times at different speeds, right? So I'll give you an example. If you go to the gym today, or if you're outside walking, or if you're doing yoga, the idea is to be able to change the pace of what you're doing. So assuming you're walking at a fast pace for about 30 seconds, you reduce that pace and you walk slowly for another 1 minute. Then you stop and do some squats for another 30 seconds. That is HIIT. If you're at the gym, you're running on the treadmill for say 30 seconds or 1 minute at your fastest pace, and you reduce that pace, after 1 minute to a very slow pace, or walk it after a while. So every time you change your pace, each time you challenge your heart, you challenge your lungs to try to catch up, and that allows your body to change.
Oh, wow.
That allows. So when you just a quick nugget here. When you're at the gym, or when you're walking, or when you're doing yoga, doing certain things, change the pace up, add weights to it, do some sit-ups, ride the bike. Don't be on the treadmill for an hour, 45 minutes. You're not going to get the benefits you're looking for. Change things up, challenge yourself.
So you're telling us the quality is more important than the quantity.
That's the key word. So producer, we have the best producer in the world here.
Ellis,
put it up there for us.
Quality over quantity.
That's right.
So you're telling me, don't just go on the treadmill for an hour and a half. Switch it up, go fast, get your heart rate up, slow down. So that's a high intensity interval training. Yep. Thank you so much. So that's great.
Yeah, change it up and bring your heart rate up and keep it elevated.
All right. So we've talked about that. The next question I have is about weights. Because one of those myths and things we've heard is that, women shouldn't do weights because we're going to bulk up, we're going to look like a man. So what's this about women and weights?
Thank you. So She does weight. Most beautiful woman I've ever met. Doesn't look like a man there. So you can't look like a man unless you're using performance enhancement drugs, right? So women add resistance to what you're doing. Because when you do that, you're going to increase your basal metabolic rate. You will increase your basal, which means that when you're at a resting state, you're still burning calories, right? So add weight to what you're doing, add resistance to it. But of course, you're doing it safely, making sure that, you can actually even use your own body weight. Use your own body weight. You don't even have to have, dumbbells, any of that stuff, right? Your body weight is your best weight you can carry around.
So how can you do weights with your body weights, like planks and squat? Okay.
Good question. Planks, push-ups, squats, different things you can do, jumping jacks. The idea is that, when you exercise, always make sure that you're able to keep your heart rate elevated so that you can spur change in your body, right?
Correct.
So resistance is important,
yes.
right?
So
you do it safely.
Thank you, producer. So bands, weights, things like that, switch it up.
Sure.
So women out there, I do weights, and all it does is it gets you toned, it gets your muscles defined, and it's good for your posture. Again, done safely after consultation. Right. So that's great. Thank you so much. Isn't he awesome, Coach Chi? All right. So then we're hearing these things about fasting workout. Can we work out on an empty stomach, or do we have to eat before, after? Sure. How does that, in terms of working out and food?
Good question. So it's all individualized kind of thing, right? So some people have conditions that require them to have to eat something prior to exercise. And that's completely fine. You want to make sure you follow the guidelines set about by your physician, right? For me, I have to have something inside of me because I get dizzy because I work out so much, and I try to hit about 2,000 calories a workout. So you want to make sure that if you need a banana, if you need some peanut butter on a piece of toast or something, or protein or some complex carbohydrates, do so. So you can either do it fasted or non-fasted, dependent on yourself, how you feel, and making sure there are no contraindications around what you're doing. Okay?
That's really important.
Yeah.
But you said if you are eating before, you talked about bananas, oatmeal, you talked about toast and peanut butter, so correct. Protein and some carb. So we can't just drive on the way to the gym, pick up a drive-through couple of donuts, or after. Yeah. And what do we eat after? Let's say, So you're saying, what you eat before you go in matters, just to help you.
Big time. Yes, it does. So, I've seen instances where people drop the cigarette prior to walking into the gym. It's the same thing. So you don't want to. When you change your lifestyle in terms of you want to exercise and have a healthier lifestyle, some of those things have to be left behind. Having a donut, which increases your potential to have diabetes, right? So things like that. So you want to make sure that what you're eating, you're getting nutrients that are important for your system. Yeah, I thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. In terms of metabolism, your metabolism increases and it revs up.
Thank you,
Michelle.
so much.
Thank you for putting that out. Well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Chi. You are acing my questions. So let's go. What equipment must I have? Because there's all this gym stuff and all this stuff. So today I'm starting my exercise stuff. What equipment should I have?
So the only equipment that you really need.
Okay. That is.
Just wait for it. Your body and your mind. That's it. So producer, if you want to put that up, your body and your mind. And I tell you why, because exercise and you have to get to a place. It's a mental thing, right? So remember we talked about being able to draw that triangle at the very beginning of our show. So you think about mental health, nutrition, exercise. They all come together. You can't divorce those, right? So if it needs a lot of commitment. You need that dedication that comes from your mind and your body, because we know not everyone is going to be able to lift weight. We know that, right? And you don't have to, right? But being able to take yourself out there for a walk, going for a jog, right? Doing some squats outside in the gym, or even jumping on a trampoline. You know, there's so many different ways to exert yourself. Just blowing those fat cells out of your mouth is the key on what to do. So, yeah, so your mind and your body.
You threw in right there what we talk about a lot about commitment and consistency, and put it in your plan, because we make commitments to other things that we find important.
Sure.
Getting things done. Let's commit to putting time for ourselves to do that for us, because of all those benefits we've talked about.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. No excuses. Let's do it. Today is day one, building on what you're already doing.
Yes.
Another question that comes up a lot is, what is the best time to exercise? So if you guys want to put in the chat, what is the best time to exercise? And while you're doing that, I'm going to, and we'll see a lot of these responses later. What is the, people want to, what is the best time to exercise?
Yep. Put it in there. What is the best time? We're trying to figure out who's going to get this answer right. Just type it in there. What is the best time to exercise? Go ahead. Let's do this. And
I'm going to ask it to you. That's it. What people want to know the answer.
Okay, so
I'm asking you as the expert. What is the best time to exercise in our busy lives?
I was going to give him a little more time to put things in there. So someone says the morning.
Yes.
Nice.
Pachon said morning. Pachon Romero says in the morning. When you have time. We love Renee.
We love Renee. Renee's an awesome supporter.
Yes.
We have a lot of return people here.
Yes,
so you guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting us.
We're getting mornings. We're getting when you have time. So anytime is the best time. Latasha, thank you so much.
Thank you. So
all right, Chef.
The question, we have about 9 minutes to the end.
What is the best time?
The best time to exercise is when you can get it in. So all those who said any time, you're 100% correct. And those who said morning or evening, no worries.
Your time.
That's your time.
Correct.
Because that's when you can get it in, right? So whenever you can get it in is a time. So good job. Thank you for doing that. We love you guys.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's go.
And so the last question I have is, what is the best? People want to say, okay, what I want to start getting on. So what is the best exercise to do, and what are the things I can do around working if I'm working from home? Before we move to the.
If you're working most people are virtual today, right? COVID is coming back with a bang, right? So we want to make sure that, even with COVID, we have our health top of mind, right? So while you're there, virtually, attending your Zoom meetings and all that, if you can go off camera, if your company says you can do that, just do some squats, do some jumping jacks during your breaks, during your meetings. Just make sure you're moving. The idea is that sitting down is the new smoking.
Yes.
Because science tells us that we find the same disease states that we find those who smoke and those who are sitting down. So make sure you're moving. Get up, move that body, get oxygen. Oxygen needs to go up and down. And commit to it. Yeah, and commit to it. All right. Just move. That's it. Thank you.
And that's part of our EMT all the time. And move more. So the last thing is around recovery stretch. Is there a time to just rest and recover? And can we ever overdo exercise?
Yes, of course you can overdo exercise, because you want to give your body time to rest, right? You always want to make sure you do that, because the idea is that if you injure yourself, if you overdo it or strain muscles, then you're out. You can't go out there to take walks or spend time with your loved ones and things like that. Listen to your body. Your body is your best teacher. Listen to your body. If it feels like there's a strain somewhere, back up from that. Listen to your body. And also, it's very, very important that, when you exercise, if you feel typical, we feel pain 24 to 48 hours afterwards, don't run getting your anti-inflammatories, because it's your body trying to tell you, I'm trying to do what you asked me to do, to grow, to impact my cellular structure. So you're better off getting a hot soak, Epsom salt in your tub. That helps to pull the pain out of your muscles. So keep the anti-inflammatories away, unless there's actually an injury. And they've actually, and you've torn something or you pulled something. But if it's just regular pain because you've worked muscles you haven't worked before,
hydrate. And get a hot bath. All right, we are 6 minutes to go. This went by so fast. Thank you so much, Coach Chi, for all that expert advice around exercise, get out today, walk, use your apps to track what you're doing, and just build up on that. You are your own competition and getting better every day, not comparing yourself to anybody else.
That's right. So now we're going to go to our segment, which is Make It Make Sense segment. And we thank our producer, Alice. Alice, you get a credit for that. So make it make sense. So, and this is where we literally take a subject or a number and break it down. Today, we're going to talk about cholesterol, right? And I'm going to hand that over to you in terms of what is cholesterol, what is HDL, and why is it important to understand your HDL and the impact on our body? We have 5 minutes, babe. Let's go.
We'll do it. We want our total cholesterol is a substance that our body makes that helps us to build hormones and things. But when it's too high, it increases the risk of heart disease. 2 weeks ago, we talked about your total cholesterol needs to be less than 200. Today, we're going to talk about your HDL, which is your high density lipoprotein cholesterol, or the good cholesterol. The good thing about that is that's the one that helps us to bind the bad cholesterol, the fats in our body, takes it to the liver takes it out as bile. So you need a high HDL level. You want your HDL to be above 60. So the higher it is, it could be as high as possible. You want it, the higher it is, the better it is to lower your risk of heart disease. HDL, you want it above 60. So anytime you have your cholesterol levels done, they give you the categories good, bad. You want your good above 60. How do you get it up above 60? The biggest thing is exercise. So if your HDL is low, your doctor will say, get exercise, quit smoking, eat fruits and veggies, and you get your HDL up. Because the higher the HDL, the more there are to bind the bad cholesterol and get it out of your system. So HDL, perfect. You want to go in.
Well done. So think about it. Get your complex carbohydrates in. Oatmeal is a really good one. All right, oatmeal in its rawest form, not packaged. Those packaged things are just sugar. Put them away. Still cut makes a lot of sense, right? So complex carbohydrates that actually take time to break down in your system. Brown rice versus white rice. Still cut versus packaged oatmeal, right? So we want to think those ways. So we have about 3 minutes here. This show goes so fast.
We have so much to share, but you have been so engaging. We've learned about what exercise means to you.
Exactly. So remember, you can't divorce exercise from food and from mental health. You cannot. It's all connected. You've got to make sure you understand that. Mental health, exercise, as well as food. All connected. So you can't divorce that. So as my wife said, it's been an engaging session. We thank all of you for always showing up to support us. If this is your first time, please, we thank you so much. We cherish you guys. All those repeat comments, please keep coming back. Share this message with as many people as you can, because we want to make sure not just us are healthy, everyone we love, our friends, our neighbors, we want to make sure they're healthy as well, especially in these times where everyone's virtual. We want to make sure that we're sharing and making sure that we can get people to be as healthy as possible.
As they can. Yes.
So remember that. And where can you share where they can find us?
Yes, you can find us at TFal Chi on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Our website is www.tfalandchi.com. You can book a discovery call to learn how to work with us. We have people we work with personally. And always remember that today is the first day of living that healthy life. Use your apps to track how you're walking, build on that, get out there, prioritize yourself and make time for yourself. And one of the things we always say is that the 30 minutes as recommended is fine, but move during the day. Walk, park far from the grocery store, walk to the stuff, walk up the stairs, do things that help yourselves, because your body will thank you.
That's right. Think about your future self. Producer, can you just put that up real quick before we close the show? Your future self is so important. 10, 20, 15 years from now, what do you want to feel and look like? Or who do you want to be around spending time with, right? Yes. So thank you so much. We thank our producer, Alice. You're awesome. We thank all of you for always showing up to be here.
Yes.
Forward, share this message with as many people as you can.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Eat well.
Yeah.
Move more.
Move more.
And think about your purpose. That's the EMT. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And get out there, walk today. We have great weather in Chicago, wherever you're joining us from. get those steps in, and you'll feel better. The endorphins will be all there.
Good homework.
And share this message with your friends and really encourage each other to do that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. We love you guys. And remember, we're on every 2 weeks.
And we'll be back, in 2 weeks. And I think we're going to talk about sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.